What up, guys? What up, guys? We're going to be doing a tier list for the best gods right now to use for ranked or casuals, whatever type of Smite you're playing, even for Joust, so you're playing some Joust rank, maybe even for some duel. I'm going to show you guys who the best gods are. I feel like I have a really good grasp. I wanted to take a little bit after the patch. There's a pretty big patch in terms of items for mages and things that have changed, so I'm going to go over it. Hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to support me, you can always check out my Nexus link and buy gems from there. Let's get to it. Achilles, off the bat, I think he is an S tier or A tier soul laner. Maybe S tier. I feel like he's pretty oppressive. He's pretty easy to play outside of the execute. And he's always going to be really strong with his 2 being able to overcap prots. Pretty good laner. Not the worst laner. I mean, there's Bellona and stuff, but you can interrupt Bellona too and whatnot, survive the lane, then look for it to play aggressive. Agni is S tier right now, and it's not cap. If you guys seen my Agni games, you guys definitely know he is pumping redonkulous damage. Redonkulous damage. They changed his ult so he can now move during the ult. That's huge. And on top of it, his items got buffed, right? Deso got buffed, Divine got buffed, Coin got buffed, Tahuti got buffed. These are all very Agni-like items. He's really, really fucking good right now. I'd definitely be playing him nonstop. I think I'm going to drop Achilles here. Leave Agni there. The Muzen used to be the S tier mid laner. They nerfed Honey. They nerfed Bluestone. He's still very strong, but just not as oppressive as he was right before this last patch. So guaranteed. He did drop a tier. That's respectable. Apwash. I think Apwash is a C tier. He's pretty weak. Let's put best gods. Really good gods. Good gods. Average. Bad. Alright, there you go. I think Apwash is average. Maybe he might be even below average. His damage is okay. His damage has never been a problem. His items are okay right now. Stacking, his book got nerfed, so it isn't the greatest, but he's okay. I would say he's average. His damage is okay. Amon solo, I think she's okay. She's just a good, solid solo laner right now. On her is on her. Will always be one of the best gods. Great clear, great fight, great everything. As the only way on her ever be bad is when his when 1v1ing isn't that good in duo. But that's never gonna be the case. So on her, my opinion, is really, really good right now. I'd definitely be using him. Anubis is pretty. I think he's below average. Maybe just average. His clear is always really good. He becomes a problem. He's a problem early mid game. Then he falls off a cliff late. He gets still shred, but just gets one shot by everything. Divine starts to be a problem. Pestilence starts to be a problem. Brawler starts to be a problem. And then he no longer can do what he did in the early mid game. Ao Kuang is still a really good god. I wouldn't say he's the best, but some of his items got buffed. Do more Deso. You can definitely put in work with Ao Kuang right now. Aphrodite, S tier support. She's just so. She makes the lane. She guarantees to win lane, right? Sustain, hard to kill. And then when she rotates with jungler to beacon or anything of that sort, mid camps, she is a problem. The only way Afro isn't one of the best gods is if she has no good link partner, which she usually should at least have one. But if she doesn't, then she does have a pretty big drop off. But no worries, you should at least have one. Apollo, I would say he's a good god. He has good clear. He's a decent hunter. Global. His global loses a little bit of value late, but he's all right. Good clear. Arachne, she's okay. She's cheesy with mannequin. You can definitely catch people off guard with her, and she's so safe. I mean, her ult is guaranteed out, right? Ult into blink, guaranteed to live every time. Similar to dodgy, but she does fall off a good bit late. She just becomes like a one go, you use one relic, maybe one stun, she's forced to ult, and then she loses all her value. So maybe, yeah, she's just good. Maybe average, I would say. Ares is one of the best supports right now. absolutely insane. If you haven't seen my Ares jungle video, go check it out. He is so strong. His chain stop everything. He's unkillable. I mean, he's been getting a lot of mini buffs over time. His damage is good. That's the biggest thing, right? If Ares damage isn't scary, then the character does nothing. But if his damage is scary, plus all the add-ons, right? Burn beads, cripple, slows, auras. I mean, that's his thing right now. I think he is so strong. Artemis, I think Artemis is actually pretty good. Bluestone or crit build or Kins build. Only problem with her is having a good support, right? You need some sort of heal. If not, you're gonna lose lane and you're gonna get ganked and die. She's similar to Nut in my opinion. Like Nut does a little bit more in terms of damage, but they're both very unsafe. I'm gonna put her at good. Ardeal kind of creeped back up. She was pretty average / below average. Actually, I'll leave her at average. She's not the greatest soul laner. She falls off a cliff. As support, you can get some value out of her. Athena, we all know where that's going. Definitely one of the best. I mean, her ult does so much. They try to nerf her, and they nerfed her like 3 times in a row, and she's still one of the best characters. I mean, that says what it says, you know? I think Alice is pretty good. I think he's a really good laner. I think his ult does a lot. He has good impact. The only problem with Atlas is a lot of gods with knockup immunity. Then it makes his game kind of hard. But outside of that, he's doing a lot. Willix dropped off a little bit. I think she's still strong. Don't get me wrong, but not like top of the food chain. And obviously, when the grabs become available, a lot of knockups, a lot of leaps, she goes up in value. But usually, she's still very good, even with low amount of leaps or knockups. That's when you know Willix is good, right? Because she doesn't need those things, which is her niche. So when she's just good, when her damage is just good regardless, and that's why she just won a really good god. Can be bumped up to one of the best, depending on the scenario. Baba has fell off a little bit. She's still good damage, very safe, but her damage isn't where it was before. You know, book lost value. She got nerfs on her 2 damage, I think. So, yeah, she's definitely lost a good bit. Supports, you're going to be seeing a lot of supports in the best gods. That's why when you see my rank games, you're going to see a lot of supports banned. Bacchus is absolutely a unit right now. It doesn't matter where you play him. You can play him in jungle, you can play him in solo, you can play him in duo. He is oppressive. Free prots, free power from his 1 burp, unmissable stun into knockup. His ult does a lot. I mean, 3 forms of CC is absolutely insane. Very strong character. Very, very, very strong character. The first bad god, Bakasura. He does nothing. He doesn't, like, usually in metas where you can outfarm with Golden Blade and then rotate and do a lot with your ult, he's good. But I feel like his ult is just too low duration. Outfarming the opponent doesn't really happen that well, even with Baka. And then when you get to late game, I feel like you just do nothing unless you get a 5-man ult, which is kind of unrealistic. So our first bad god, Baka will be joining him. Baka will be joining him. He just does nothing, and he got nerfed again. So he just, like, for me, he does nothing. He went from like one of the strongest characters, and I said this was gonna happen. This is a character that will either be very strong or very weak. There is no middle, right? Because the character is so easy to play. So if his numbers are inflated, he's very good. If his numbers are deflated, he's very bad. Right now, his numbers are bad, so he is bad. Baron, I think he's average. He has some good support matchups, but he is very easy to kill. Bastet, I actually think, is in the S tier of the junglers. A lot of people ask me, yo, what junglers are the best? Top 5 junglers, Bastet is up there for sure. Definitely very good. I think so. I'm going to give you guys all the tech because I'm not competing. Nobody's competing. So there's nothing to hold back. I'll give you guys all the info I got. So right now there's a big problem. And what is that? It's damage in the jungle. There's low damage. Even on Joe and Spike, you're weak. Then next item, you're weak. Then you get Transcendence. You're still weak. Then you get Serrated or Heartseeker. Then you're finally doing damage. But that's 5 items we're talking about. 5 items can take about 25, 20, 24 minutes to farm sometimes, depending on how good you're farming. Bastet can gank at all levels. From the level 3, she can gank until level 20, and she does not lose value. That's why she's in the S tier. Bellona, I think Bellona is good. She was oppressive. She was one of the best soul laners. But now I think she just kind of wins lane, and that's about it. she kind of falls off a little bit. I think sometimes I just prefer to have a tier or something that can stun people and lock people up and burn a lot of beads over someone that just keeps hitting people. I don't know. I think she's a good god. I think she's a really good god, I'd say. Yeah, I don't think she's just a good god. She's a really good god. I think if you're playing solo, you should definitely be playing Bellona. I think Cap is just good. Actually, I think Cap's average. He doesn't do anything better than any. He just dies, I feel. Like, in the early game, he's like, oh, wow, the tremble's good. The lot of CC is good. And then you get to a point where you blink, you stun someone. They beads. Then how do you get out? You don't. You have to cage and then tremble and hope that your team follows up. And after why not just have Geb at that point, right? Why not just have Athena at that point? Why not just have Ares at that point? There's just so many other characters that just could do what he wants to do, but just better and survive. Cap doesn't do that. That's why I'll put him at average. And he's lucky he's getting average. Look at him. He's angry. He's average. Nothing I can do about that. Kamazots. So this is going to be very cute, very interesting. So Kama is just a good god. And exactly what I told you guys earlier was about the damage. Is in jungle, damage is a big problem right now. And what does Kama strive off? It's damage. So if his damage is low throughout like first 3 or 4 items, his survivability is really good. His gank is pretty good. No CC though, but he needs damage to be high for him to be strong. And damage just isn't there for the jungle right now. So he's going to just be a good god. I think Serb is pretty damn good right now. Shred, in a low-powered, low-damage meta, Shred helps a lot in that aspect. So Serb is definitely going to get a good spot. He can go solo with Conduit right now. No problem. Solo or support. And he is very strong. Good CC, Prot Shred, hard to kill. He's got everything right now. And he just got a quality of life buff on his 3, where if he kills the clones, it resets his jump. So that's great. I think CERN is just bad. I think Serb is just bad because he does nothing better than any god, right? So if you think about Prime CERN, right? Think about Prime CERN. What did he do? He was dominant, strong from laning phase. He won laning phase. He invaded purples. He pulled Gold Furies in front of people with his 1. Like, he can't do any of that right now. He's clear as whatever. His 1v1 is not very strong. You need 4 items before you can kill a tank, and that's what he's very good at. So needing items and his kit not being strong enough to solo people / play aggressive against tanks, he's just not him. He's not him. I think Chalk is pretty good right now. I think he provides a lot. I think he falls off a cliff, but throughout the time that he is strong, I feel that he is very strong. And when I say he falls off a cliff, I don't mean like necessarily like Cabra can fall off a cliff. Like, I think you can, if you hit a 4-man silence, you hit a 4-man silence, right? And then you're very hard to kill. You're very disruptive, but he doesn't like have heavy kill threat. Bluestone nerf hurts him a little bit, but you get the redstone. I think it's really good with a lot of prots. So I think he's a good soul later. Definitely check him out. Changa's a bad god. Mage's damage did get a little bit better. Isn't the patch tomorrow? But I feel like the patch barely had anything. But we'll see. I can just adjust the tier list. Unless they change. I don't know what they have in the patch, but I don't think it's going to be that drastic. But I don't know, so we'll see. Maybe I could wait. I'm not that deep into it. Did they say what they're going to do about all I've seen is her quality of life, right? Yeah, I'm going to keep going. I don't think there's going to be a lot of change. Charon is pretty damn good right now. I would say he's A tier. In mid, he's like pretty average, though. He lost that little bit of that, but in support, he is really strong. He's really oppressive in that role. He can trade with the ADC. He can make the ADC's life really hard. I think Cherry's pretty average. All she does is clear and survive, in my opinion. Even though it's a kin size meta, she just kind of doesn't do anything other than survive. She just runs the whole fight. I think Cherno is just good right now. His laning phase is like pretty weak, but then after that, after like 15 minutes, he definitely gets a huge spike, especially if you know how to play, if you play the map right. Chiron is S tier. He does more damage than any mage. He is safer than most mages, and he can do it from such a safe range. So high damage and safe, that's a scary combo, and that's why you'll see him in one of the best gods right now. Kronos, I think Kronos is really good, but he's as good as the player is, in my opinion. I'm going to say he's really good. A lot of people might not agree with this, but I think there's just a lot of bad Kronos players. Very bad with his ult, very bad with the 2, and not very good at landing ones. If that is you, don't play Kronos. If you're him on Kronos, lock him in. He power farms. Doom Orb is good. Coin is good. All these items to just amp him up. Conduit is good. Like he can be very strong. He scales very hard, especially if you know his passive. As you can tell, time makes him scale. I think he's actually really good and very. I don't see enough Cronoses. I'll just leave it at that. There should be more Kronos being played. Cleo, I think Cleo is just a good god. A lot of damage in the late game. Good fire defense, good gold defense, but she is pretty slow to ramp up. So putting her in the jungle, I feel like her gank is weak. She can't gank unless her lanes are winning very hard. She can't like make something happen. She just has to wait for something to happen, which is exactly what you don't want from your jungler. You want a proactive jungler. You don't want a reactive jungler. So I think Cleo is just a good god. I think she's better in solo, but then again, I'd rather have a Kakolin or an Achilles or a Serb in solo than I would have a Cleo. So that's the math. I think Cthulhu is a very good god right now. He is close to one of the best with the conduit change and the 2 change. A lot of items are just going his way. He does a lot, in my opinion. He might be S tier. Not sure. He's up there. He's between S tier and really good. But I feel like right now, the problem is that when you see him in ranked, nobody's focusing him, right? But he does die with Kins and Soul Reaver. But that hitting that timing and having your team, you know, work together to do that, kind of a rare occasion. Kakolin. I think Kakolin is right there. He's a great soul laner. He has great pressure. He has great team fight. How good can you micro his rage and play team fights? That's up to you. I think Cupid is actually a very bad god. He doesn't do anything. If cripple is in high value, he just does nothing. He really doesn't. He has bad clear. He has bad 1v1. He does nothing. He literally does nothing. Daji is a really good. He's one of the best. She's one of the best gods. She's Mickey. When I say Mickey, she's just so easy to do everything right. Like your 3 is a hard escape. Your 2 is a good escape. Your ult is another hard escape. So like once you hit like a 3 items, like Daji can always gank, very similar to Bastet. She can always gank. As soon as she hits 5, she has a good gank. So those junglers have really high value. I think Danza is actually pretty damn good, man. I really like Danza. I think he's good in Hunter. I think he can be played in any role. I think his kit is just strong. We throw him an S tier for JK. Discordia is pretty average. Even when her items are so good, right? Her items are actually so good, right? But she's still not putting out that type of damage. Unfortunately for her, she stays as an average character. Because look, Coin is good, Deso's good, Divine's good, Reaver's good. Those are all Discordia items. Like how are you not just like winning fights for your team? Discordia does not win fights for your team. She like pokes. That's what she does. And like a Discordia when she was very strong is because she was one tapping with a 2-1, and she doesn't do that. I think Erlang is a pretty good god. I think he does pretty well in jungle. I think he does really well in solo, depending on like who's playing him. And I think he has a lot of like survivability in his kit and can buy a lot of time, similar to Chalk. But I think it's just he does what Chalk does, but I think a little bit better with more CC. ESET got some nice changes. She's still pretty average in my opinion. I'm a big fan of ESET, but even with the wind gust, it feels so much better, so much cleaner. Her damage is coming out faster. But at the end of the day, her ult is too easy to like just Aegis it, right? You're at the border, you Aegis, you walk out, that's all her damage. She's like, what? Now you can turn on her. She needs like, she's better support in my opinion. Or I feel like her Spirit Ball should scale more with the damage or something of that nature. Fafnir. I think Fafnir is actually a really good support right now. Not the best, but a really good support. Especially when you're seeing these double hunters come out, which is happening pretty often since like Chiron's so good. AMC was pretty good for a while. Marty was good. Great objective control, good stun, high survivability. Just not the best laning. He's okay laner, but not the best. And then, but when you rotate out and you start playing OBJ game, Faf is great. Fenrir is absolutely average. He might even be below average, but Fenrir just like doesn't do anything. Like I think he's a better support. Like if we're talking about Fenrir support, I would say he's good. But Fenrir jungle, which is his nature, like his true role, he doesn't do enough damage. Remember I was talking about jungle weak damage? Fenrir needs high damage. If you're brutalizing, you need to be able to take at least 40 or 50% of someone's health. If not, you're gonna die. Once you're brutalizing in, you better press 4 or jump out and be dangerous right away, because you know they're gonna turn on you as soon as you brutalize. So with his brutalize doing like 30 or 40%, it's just, or 30% damage, it's just not enough. Like you're not doing enough. He's just a bite. He's just a bite. Reposition, beats counters that. Too many things. Bubble. I think Freya got some buffs. I think she's just okay. She's a good mid-late game carry. Her early is kind of whatever. Conduit kind of helps a bit. And then she got a nice quality of life change on her too. She's okay. You could try her out, see what she's feeling like. Ganesh is a really good support. Ganesh is as good as his silences and as good as his ult is. A lot of dashes, Ganesh gets high value. A lot of channeled abilities, Ganesh goes up in value. A lot of leaps, Ganesh loses value on ult. You know, that's pretty much Ganesh's game. I think Geb is best god, one of the best gods. That character plays itself. I could put my cat to play Geb, and she might look like a Masters player at that point. So yeah, Geb is just redonkulous right now. I think Gilga is pretty good. I think he's just a good god. He has good CC, good laning phase, good HP 5 from the one, free item, fear tier 1. I think he's okay. He's pretty decent. I think Guan is pretty average. She gets buffed, but it's just not good enough. I feel like he just dies, and then sustain got nerfed out of combat. I don't know. It's just not doing enough. Hachiman stays as one of the best hunters. Maybe I think he's still one of the best hunters. Long range damage, very, very safe. Good laner. CC. He's a great great hunter. Hades, bro. I haven't seen a Hades in so long. I mean, I think he's like average or bad. I'm not sure. I would say average. He's like whatever. You play Hades solo, you'll clear waves. I don't know. Maybe someone can surprise me with him. I don't think he's very good. Hebo's actually I think Hebo is just a little. If it was pre-patch, I would have said Hebo is average. Now with Dumor, Coin, Deso, Tahuti, all these items getting buffed, very Hebo-like items. So Hebo, I did play a couple Hebo games, and I felt like I was getting to those 1K numbers on those items. So pretty good. Heimdallr, I think he's a really good hunter. Good pressure, very, very safe. Guaranteed to get beats. Good versus frontline. I think Heim's good. Hell, we haven't seen a lot of Hell. I think Hell support can be good. Not very good, just good. Good sustain. You're guaranteed to win the lane. Then you lose a little bit of value. Then you're just a heal bot. They get Divine. You fall off. You die. Average. Maybe below average. Hera is just a wannabe. She's average. She doesn't do anything very good. She has good damage, but she just dies. Herc's a really good god. He can be played in multiple roles right now. Jungle probably being his weakest. Support's pretty good. Solo's pretty decent. But, you know, Herc's as good as you are. I'm pretty sure I ran into you on the elevator in Atlanta at the 2018 championship. Could be, bro. What's up, TikToker? How you doing, man? What's up, guys? Doing a quick tier list. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Horus in the support role is pretty good right now. I think moving around the map is really good because you need to play Pyro. If you're playing Pyro and Gold, if you get two rotations of Pyro and Gold, you can feel the map shrink. And I think Horus is very good at enabling that, allowing, being on both sides of the map. He's very safe, great setup. I think Horus is a damn good support. Hui is a pretty... Hui doesn't... Oh, wait, that was Humbots. Sorry, guys. Humbots, I think, is actually really good jungler right now. Wait, how am I grabbing his Zanami? Okay, there you go. I think Humbots is really good jungler right now. Like, he's slow on the ramp up, but you feel that mid game spike. Once you get that 40% CD and you're ganking lane to lane with your ult, like, there's just nothing you can do when you're dropping ult on 2 people or 3 people. That's going to be all beads and Aegises off the bat. I think Hui is pretty bad, in my opinion. I think he's average. He doesn't clear well. He doesn't fight well. He's supposed to be one of the best 1v1ers, but even then he's not. And he's so gankable. So easy to read. His bounces aren't good on this map. His ult doesn't do that much. Yeah. Ishtar dropped a bit, in my opinion. She's pretty average. She used to be one of the best pressure gods, and she probably kind of still is, depending. But then, I don't know, her late game fight doesn't feel that good. Hachi 1 is just better than her 1. She's kind of unsafe. Everybody knows how to play her dash. Everyone knows how to play her dash, right? If any tank knows, okay, body block Ishtar, she backflips in the team, the fight's over. How do you A cancel with dodgy? You just press 1 left click. You left click, then 1 left click. Ixchel's I actually think is pretty underrated. I think she's a really good god, but I think Ixchel players are just bad. But I think Ixchel has really low-key underrated damage. Her combos can be ridiculous, lots of sustain. You're hitting 10k per game without even trying. I'm always on top of health bars. I'm not just saying my Ixchel. I just think Ixchel is really good, and I think just people are not really understanding her damage and what she can do. I think Janus is just a good god. I don't think he's over the top. I think the book nerf actually hurt him a bit. The Doom War feels like you don't feel like you're one tapping. You're all over the map, but you still need items. You need Chronos, you need Doom, you need Deso. Then you're hurting a little bit, but then you fall off right after you get maybe a kill or 2, and then now you're back to trying to get Opshard. Then you get Opshard, then you're hurting. So you're playing the late game. I think he's good. He's just good. He's just as good as the Janus player is. Jingwei, she's okay. She's just good. She's better than these other hunters like Cherry. She's good at farming. I think her amp is good. She shreds. She's very safe. Jorm feels really, really average to me. He wins solo kinda-ish, but then he just dies. Damage, you can't go 5 items and then 5 damage, 1 tank. It feels like you kind of just get popped and you don't do that much. I'm not sure where Jorm's really at. I haven't really seen that much Jorm. Seems pretty average to me. What's the remarks? 6 to 3 months. Really appreciate it, man. Worst purse in the P. Kali is bad. Kali's bad. That's all I have to say. Does nothing. Capri, I think Capri's actually really good. I think Capri is really good. I think DR is so strong, and I think Capri 1 not being DR'd is absolutely the best thing. He has a good laning phase. He makes everybody harder to kill. He makes the game harder to play. A good Capri can win the game. Why is Anubis so low? Because he's bad. What does he have? Good clear, high damage. Okay, maybe in bronze, silver, gold games, he can get away with just doing what he does. But in a real game, anything past gold, you build divine on the mid laner, you build brawlers on the jungler, and this character does nothing. So Izanami, I think is pretty bad. I would say bad. I don't know. Like her clear is good. She just dies in team fights. Her silence does no damage. Her 2 slows for nothing. She's just a left clicker with pressure. Can you explain Hell? I think Hell is just a good support right now. Like, I think as a mid, she doesn't provide that much, not enough damage. She can. Like, I think if your team is really good, you can build her like hybrid and heal your whole team and do a lot. But I think like that depends on your team. And if you're depending on your team to pick a character, you're already losing. King Arthur. I think King Arthur is pretty average. He can only solo, and even in solo, interrupting any of his spins with any stun or silence just destroys the character. He needs to be able to flow. He needs to be able to spin everywhere and make a lot of space. Kukulkan did drop off a bit. His damage is still pretty good. He's still a good god, but he dropped off from being GOAT, in my opinion. Book of Thoth got nerfed, so that hurt him. Then he lost CDs on his 2, which was making him impossible to kill because he was super fast. I think I'd actually leave him still here. He's a really good god, but he definitely dropped off from being the best. Yes, Jason. Kumbhakarna is below average. Until DR is fixed, that character is dead. Kuzembo is a... He went from, I think, the best god to he dropped off a little bit. I think the way they nerfed him does hurt him a good bit, but I still think he's really, really good. I think the nerfs to him, the reason he was so redonkulous was that you blink, you dash, you bring this guy out of position. Let's say he beads. Then you press 2, they try to peel you off of him. It resets your dash, and then you re-grab the guy that just beads, and then you ult. The fight's over. That fight's over, guaranteed. Now that reset on the dash isn't coming back just like that. They definitely hurt it a good bit, in my opinion. Lancelot is the top jungler right now. Loki is a good god right now. There's Loki players that do nothing for the 20 minutes, and then there's some Loki players that know how to play their ult. The Lokis that know how to play their ult, the character's pretty good. Like, you're not easy to kill. And you're good at just punishing no relics. I think Mamin might be below average. She is so bad. She does nothing. She does no damage. She is an all-in character with no damage. That's the end of the story. I think Marty is a really good god. I think he's really safe. A lot of heavy poke. Bluestone got hit a little bit. But yeah, I think he's pretty damn good. I think Maui's really damn good. I think he wins lane hard. Lots of CC. Game-changing ult. Lots of prots. Good aura. Dusa is kind of just an average god, I feel. She doesn't do anything that great. Like, Bluestone got hit a little bit. Is she even a true Bluestone? Like, she's like... Yes, I mean, she does have 4 abilities to proc Bluestone, but, like... I don't know. Her ability base... I'd just rather be a Chiron. I just do what Medusa does, but from a safe range. I think Mercury is really good. I still think he scales super hard. He does OBJs really well. Controls map. Merlin is like just a... I think he feels so average to me. He does nothing well. He's a tablet builder. Tablet's garbage. You go coin divine on him. It doesn't feel like the same. It feels like you need 2-3 combos to like really cook. She's whatever. I think Morgan Le Fay is actually underrated. I think she's really good. I think she's very good. I don't know why I'm not seeing more Morgan Le Fay. Like, Coin is good. Deso's good. Divine. Tahuti. Like, those items just got, like, all together an extra, like, 60, 70 power. Like, she's in a good spot. I don't see why I'm not. Good clear. Hard to kill. Mulan, every Mulan I've ever seen always feeds. Like, if you pick this character, you're guaranteed to feed, especially when you buy Soul Eater. So that's why I'm going to put this character is average. She has potential, but just you have to hit every 3. Naja, I think Naja is actually a really good jungler. Remember I said the damage is really low? While that is true, while the damage is lower than normal, Naja doesn't need that much damage. She's a very bruiser, in and out type of character, pulling relics left and right. I think Naja's in a good spot if you're building hybrid. Neath, oh man, it's scary to put this character as one of the best characters, but I mean, Bluestone, like, you're guaranteed to take one person out of the fight, which for Neath is already happy. Then you hit a root and a 2. I mean, this character is doing too much. This character needs to be nerfed, but it's too easy to do what you want to do. But I mean, it is one of the best gods right now, in my opinion. Nemesis is pretty. She's pretty bad. I think she's pretty average. I think Nike's actually pretty decent. I think she's really good. She does a lot. She's a good soul laner. She's pretty. She makes just lanes really even. Like, you're not gonna lose lane on Nike. And then after that, you can provide a lot, especially into a double left click comp. Nox in mid is memes. Nox in support is whatever. Pretty average character. Nuance, average character. Doesn't do anything. Actually below. Maybe below average. I don't know. With their 4 button. I think Nuts damage is really good, but I think people are just dumb in terms of not ganking this character. Like, if there's a nut in my game and I'm a jungler or support, she's gonna have 10 to 15 deaths, no doubt. I think Odin is S tier. I mean, I hate this character to be S tier, but he is. It's cage with bobble, stun for free, good damage, fast damage, hard to kill, does too much. Auto run is very bad. Like, what does this character do? Like, better than any other character. More pressure? No, they killed that. Insane teamfight ult? I mean, I guess every character has CC immunity somewhere. Like, you're not going to hit an ult that just wins the game. You're just going to hit an ult that they just, oh, wow, I got 2 beats. Nice. Good job, bro. See you in 200 seconds. Osiris is, in solo, I think he's just good. He's just good pressure. But then he kind of doesn't do too much unless he's like playing perfect in terms of just eating damage and creating space. I think Pele's actually just good. Her damage is good. She's a fast jungler, and her, like I said, jungler like damage is a problem in the jungle right now, and Pele kind of helps in that aspect. She does have pretty good damage in my opinion. Purse is average to good. Like, her damage is good. I think Purse damage is good. She's just so inconsistent. Her jump, her one, the ult is the only thing that stays consistent in my opinion. Even then, I don't know. But Purse is good. I think she's okay. I think Pos right next is pretty similar there. I think Pos is power farms, good Krakens. I think solos just cook Pos though. Supports and solos make Pos's life impossible. Fed Ares, what do you do? Fed Jing 10, what do? You just clear a wave and run for your life. And if the support knows what they're doing, they're going to go for you. Same thing with Raw, right? Like, these supports. All right, so what mages are good is our mages that can get away from these supports that are just doing too much. Raijin's here. These 3 mages are very similar. They do good damage in the late, but they're just getting ran out by supports. And these supports are the same level as these mids at certain points. And, like, what do you do? Rama, I think Rama's one of the best hunters in the game, as always, in my opinion. Like, just safe, good clear, good damage. He does what he does. Rama will always be there unless they change something about his kit. I think Rat Jungle is actually really good right now. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing more Rat Jungle, but I think like having like he's literally a global with TP, right? Like, you use a teleporter, you ult, you can get to mid, you're literally all over the map at all times. Good stun, good damage. You can go hybrid build on him. Pretty good. I do King. I think Ravana is just good right now. I think damage is a little bit of a problem, but like he has really good chase down right now with like Shard, right? You go like Shard, you double 1, double 3, really hard to kill jungler. That punishes mages pretty hard. I think Scylla's pretty good right now, in my opinion. I think her damage is great. Even if Book is a little bit weaker, you don't even have to go Book. You can go Doom or something of that nature. And then late game, her 1-2 ult can change the game at all times. I've always said Scylla is very good. I don't know why everybody puts Scylla such low tier. She has a damage. Yeah, she's not an artillery mage, but she is a game-changing mage. I think Serket is just good right now. All right, so you know what's really good about Serket is that, like, all right, you remember I said damage is a problem, and I keep going back to it? Like, Serket kind of... A 2-1 ult, like, the amount of reposition and chase she has makes up for the damage being really low. It's crazy to put Set anywhere here to here, right? Isn't it crazy to have Set so low? But it's true. What the fuck does he do? Set does nothing. Nah, Scylla with Conduit is so fine. You literally one-tap archers with Scylla Conduit. And you shouldn't be going any other starter, in my opinion. Set is average. He's like, he doesn't do anything with his 2-1 skewer. Like, he needs to get his full combo off for at least like 5 seconds to really take over a team fight. I think Shiva's even better than Set. Imagine that. What a time we live in. I mean, yeah, Shiva's like pretty good solo laner. I feel he's pretty decent support too. He does a lot. He falls off for sure around like 25-30 minutes. Like, his dance just isn't. It is like the rest of his kit doesn't keep scaling, but his ult does not scale. Like, just dancing and around, you know, mages with 5 slots and hunters with kin size. I mean, you can't really dance for too much. I think Scotty with Bluestone actually leaves her not at average or below average. I think the Bluestone carries her over. You know, 2-3-1 4 is just a lot of damage. I think Sobek is S tier, absolutely S tier. Impossible to kill, lane dominator, great initiator, great peel, impossible to kill. That's the biggest thing. A fed Sobek as a mage, you can never show at mid camps ever again. Soul is pretty bad. I would say maybe average. I would say bad, just a bad character. High pressure, and then you lose the game. Whoop-de-doo. Tell me we've seen that story before. So Wukong is really good right now, in my opinion. Great soul laner. Interrupts a lot. I think Surtur is dropped off a little bit, though. He was getting a lot of play time, and recently you don't really see that much play. And everybody kind of just plays his ult. Like, his ult felt like a true escape, but it doesn't feel like that anymore. I feel like people are just playing the option at all times. Susano, the Mickey of Mickey, even if his damage has been nerfed, he's just a god that can just keep killing, right? Like, damage is a problem, not a problem for Susano, right? You auto cancel, 1, dash, okay, pull him back, okay, beads, ages, now ult, okay, knocks up, okay, then 3, okay, then your 1's up again. I mean, just a Mickey Mouse character. I think Sylvanas is really good. He's as good as the person maneuvering him is. I've played Terra. She felt pretty good. Her laning phase feels pretty average, but then her ult and her late feels pretty good. I'm gonna play her a little bit more and make sure to confirm on that Terra being just good, because she could be very good. Thanatos is, I think, still S tier. When Thanatos S tier, the reason he's S tier is that his XC scales too much, in my opinion, for the CD. He got nerfed recently on the CD, but I don't know if that changes too much. Maybe it changes him to be maybe just a really good god instead of one of the best. I think Morgan's actually one of the best gods right now. In my opinion, I think Morgan's just amazing. She just, like, Doom Orb coin. I just go Doom Orb coin, Death Soul Poly with Conduit. You clear really well, and then you transform into anything. You're super strong. Thor is still a really good god. He got nerfed 2 seconds on his hammer. It does hurt his escape and his damage, but he's still really damn good. You don't like any of the attack speed mages? Olo's dead. Soul's dead. I think the other one still hanging around is Chronos. Yo, what's up, Big Bam? Next to the 3 years. Really appreciate it, bro. Thoth, definitely an S tier mage. So much pressure. He does have his bad matchups. Dodgies, Susano, Fenrir, but Ares. But at the end of the day, if you do get a pretty free Thoth game, he will take over the game. He's one of those mages. I think Tia is a really good god. Not at that Thoth value, but right below it. Really good late game. I mean, I'm sure you guys seen some shorts, some TMS shorts where he takes over the game. What's the problem with MLF? I mean, she's A tier. I don't think there's any problems with her. I think Suki is a little inconsistent, but his damage is always consistent. So I think he's a really good jungler. Tier, in my opinion, is a really good soul laner right now. I think he does a lot. He creates a lot of space, a lot of CCs, a lot of beads blowing. I think beads blowing, burning beads is really important right now because beads upgrade for free at this point. So it is what it is. I think Uller, it just does nothing for me. He's just good. Like around his 4th, 5th slot, you do start to do a lot, but to get there, just feels like you have no mana. You're forced to go trans first. But mana's dead. Vulcan, his items are good, but the problem with Vulcan is people are just bad at him. You have to hit everything. Make sure to position your turrets right. I think X-Ball low-key is really good too. X-Ball does a lot with his ult, and he just cleaves waves. You think, like, when I see X-Ball, I see bad clear, but recently I just feel like his clear has done a lot. I think Thoth is better than Agni, just for like the average person. I think Jing 10. I think Jing 10 is S tier. I think Jing 10 is S tier, and I have no clue why people are not playing him. He is absolute HP. If you just get 2-3 items with HP 5, I don't see how you die, and he's so safe. And then on top of that, he burns every single relic. But always at least decent. Yeah, she's always. I mean, she's just gonna clear waves, right? That's important, Smite. Yamoja feels pretty just good. Maybe below average. If you're a great Jamoja, she's good. If you're an average Jamoja, you're like average or bad. I think low key Ymir has glowed up recently. I really like his laning phase. I think he's done a lot. I think Ymir is back. Yu Huang, I think Yu Huang is dog shit. I think Yu Huang, for some reason, people try to like make him work, but it's a sad day for him. Everybody tries to make him work. This character does fucking nothing. He's average, and that's just, he's lucky he's getting average. Zeus is actually really good right now. He's really good. He does a lot of damage. Like, even if you kill the Zeus, for example, you catch him, like, he's going to 2-4 his feet and probably take 2 people down to 50%, even when you catch him. So if you don't catch him, good luck with that damage. And then Zhang Kui is just probably average right now. He doesn't do Zeus damage, and he needs to do something near that when he blinks in and ults. What's up, Alex? Next to the 2-bomb. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the tier list. If you guys have any questions, make sure to drop comments below on any of these rankings, and I'll make sure to answer you. Thanks for watching, guys.